What's going on, guys? It's your boy Az. We are back. Exciting today as we can finally dive into the Scourge. And we're going to have a quick peek at the roster here before we do that. And of course, I'll only be running notes 5 and 10. We'll run difficulty 6 first so you guys can kind of see how hard it is. But I had some time to experiment last night. And my goodness, I think note 5 will be the deciding factor. It seems like, I feel like that one's going to be probably the harder node out of the two, but we'll see how it goes with more trial runs. And yeah, we'll take a quick peek at the roster. We're gonna be running Squirrel Girl. She's G15, level 85. Pretty much everything's T4 except for her basic, ISO 8 blue as well. We're skipping Miles here. Miles is actually with our A-Force team, and we didn't even have to resort to our B team for this difficulty, which is good for us. We'll save it for the next, hopefully difficulty 7 and 8. We got America Chavez, level 85 as well. Pretty much everything's T4'd except for her basic, and same thing, level 85. Haven't pushed any of them past 85 yet, just to see how difficult it is right now with just 85, and G15 as well. Miss Marvel, same thing. Pretty much T4ing everything but the basics, I think, for most of them. Level 85, ISO 83 skirmisher as well. And I did find that in the previous Scourges, changing their ISO 8 to healer might actually be a good strategy as well, since this team does have a lot of sustain already, but having an additional heals on top of Squirrel Girl might be a good sound strategy as well. Let's see here. So we got Kate Bishop, same thing, 85. Everything's T4 except basic. She's got a let's see here. She's kind of a bit lower because she doesn't have the yellows, and same with Echo. She's the lowest because she's a 4 yellow, or is she a 5? No, I think she's a 4. Excuse me. And yeah, lowest out of the 5 here. ISO 83, 85. Everything's T4 as well. So that's the lineup, guys. Let's quickly dive into the Scourges. All right. So as you guys can see here, we're just bumping it up here. And yeah, we're gonna jump in here to get her to get Rogan locked at minimum, so you don't have to wait for the the rewards. You gotta get her at least at difficulty 6, and that's kind of where those trait restrictions come into play with the mutants and the with nodes 5 and 10, with the city, and etc. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. We're not going to do the full run of this because I've already seen that most of these nodes are pretty basic at difficulty 6. So I think with your standard teams, it's just it's kind of a waste of time. I'll most likely do a more in-depth one at the higher difficulties, probably 7 and 8. But for now, we're not gonna get too much of a big video for you guys for this first time. We're just gonna do the recordings for 5 and 10, and then that way you guys can see kind of an example, I guess, as how these nodes will be playing out in the future difficulties. And as you guys see, we finished off with Axemen in the 3 and 4, and then we used Web Warriors. And I think for the most part, these first few nodes are going to be very straightforward for a lot of people. So that's why we didn't do the recordings for it. It's just very standard stuff. So anyways, let's jump into node 5 here and see how it is. So as you guys see, we start off actually taking a little bit of a beating, and this is kind of the reason why I believe node 5 will kind of be the one where it will probably be necessary to have a sack wave or something, because we get a whole bunch of barrage of attacks, and that's not a bad thing. If I think if the targets are towards certain characters like Miss Marvel and Squirrel Girl, we'll probably be okay. And then of course they'll also trigger their passives as well, and that can get us hopefully some early turn meter in for Squirrel Girl, and then she can kind of blast her heals, and then that can kind of get rid of some some early damage that we get from the initial onslaught here. So we take care of Doctor Strange, as you guys saw there, and then there's a lot of characters here. I believe probably most likely, depending on how strong your young Avengers are, you should be able to cancel out at least half these guys by using just your ultimates. So that's what I'm doing here, as you guys can see. But yeah, obviously with Doctor Strange, Ebony Maw, I mean, who was there before we blasted them. I think, yeah, lots of dangerous characters. Zemo, Hela. Yeah, don't want to leave them alone too long. But yeah, for the most part, we're going to get through this because our Young Avengers is so strong. And luckily for us, we were ready for this specific Scourge. So, of course, that helps us out that we got everybody up to G15 and level 85. And heck, I might even bump them up to 86 if we struggle with difficulty 7 and higher. So we'll see how it goes for sure. But as you guys can see here, either Sunfire as well. Yeah, that's we take a Doctor Strange ultimate like it's nothing. Like, yeah, this is pretty standard stuff. So we're gonna speed the footage up here because I think you guys get the gist of it now. And I think once you get down to the last 4 or 5, you can pretty much just slap this thing on auto because our Young Avengers is so strong. And I mean, if we have lots of time, I think with previous Scourges and of course this one as well, there's ample time for you to get your characters leveled up, especially right now if you don't have the resources invested in them, or perhaps you didn't focus on Young Avengers and you went with a different team instead. But this one for sure is will be interesting to see how at higher difficulties because they do start with that initial bomb of attacks. So we get this one done, and yeah, that's really nice for us that it's smooth because we have a 760 or something like that. I think my total team. It could be higher now actually because I did actually end up bumping a few T4s right before the event. So yeah. So anyways, let's we're gonna jump into the last node now. And as you guys see, we actually cancel out the previous nodes as well with some pretty self-explanatory teams. We got our Dormammu, nice and big there with Eternals, and of course with Thanos for energy, and same with Deathpool for the extra damage there from the kills. And I found that team was just so good with those nodes. They were so strong. They just kept feeding energy, and yeah, Icarus and Cersei were just basically unstoppable. And then, of course, for the villains, we had Dormammu mixed in with Darkhold and Amerfrost, and this was actually a really solid arena team as well. So I kind of used this and kind of trial and errored it first, and yeah, you could just melt them, save your ultimates, and then just go into node 8 and or 6, or excuse me, from your cooldowns from 6, and save it for 7, and then just melt everybody down. So. Yeah. So we'll jump into the last node here, and as you guys see here, 780ish, and then we also have our B team, which is almost 600,000. So yeah, not everybody's at full health, which is fine for us, but yeah, we get this node done pretty good here. I found that probably the hardest part was just making sure you know, the Icarus bomb. So at higher difficulties, I can kind of see that being an issue, especially you know, if your characters are low from the previous node. So that's kind of where you might need a sack here as well, depending on your strength and your character power. But yeah, again, it helps us out because it gives Squirrel Girl that turn. We flip the negatives back onto them thanks to her ultimate, and then of course we replenish ourselves. And yeah, I think as long as you kind of have a big enough Young Avengers for this difficulty, at least, you're not going to have too many issues. We take care of Icarus first because obviously he's got a lot of offensive prowess and lots of damage, so take him out. And then we do have some weird Asgardians mixed in with our own Young Avengers, so it's interesting. It's an interesting lineup, but nothing I don't think your teams will be able to not handle. I am seeing that a lot of people don't have either America Chavez or Echo, and they're using Miles instead. So I am interested to see how he would do. So I might experiment with that later on and see if that maybe has a better result. But obviously right now she pumps out so much damage for our team that I can't really see replacing her as an option. Miles would be good because he's got that disruption, and he also has some turn reduction as well for the team. But I just hard to say if he would be a suitable replacement. So we do take out Valkyrie, and then of course I don't like these new characters because sometimes their stats are ridiculous. So of course we try to take out Mighty Thor and Valkyrie, and then of course after that you can kind of maybe go for Miss Marvel or America Chavez as well. But as you can see here, having a big Squirrel Girl is going to be key to this team because you know, lots of damage, and basically I'm putting her in the middle here, dead smack, so that way if she gets hit more, then of course there's a potential, right, that she can get that turn meter rolled up as well for the team. Kate Bishop as well with that amazing ultimate as well, and love all the assists, right? The assists are kind of what gives this team so much power and momentum from taking out some of these nasty characters. The energy replenishment for Miss Marvel, same thing. Yeah, we're just it puts us in a very solid position. So even then, our Squirrel Girl is ability blocked, so she wasn't able to heal herself, but that's fine because even right now, with the 5 guys remaining here, even if we did get wiped, we would still have that B team to come in, which is the A-Force plus our Miles Morales mixed up. And of course, we also have Yo-Yo and Black Bolt as well, both level 85, and also I think they're tier 13 or something like that. But yeah, obviously they're pretty, they're above average, or at least I think they are anyways. But yeah, as you guys see here, we're pretty much down to the last 3 guys, and I mean, I don't think you're gonna have too many issues, like I said, with the 700k plus team. Even a 600ish, 650, I think you're gonna be able to blast through difficulty 6, like it's, like there's no issues there. So we barely had any issues, and I did this in my first attempt. So of course, crazy day yesterday, but hopefully you guys can see here we're kind of rushing through the footage and get it recorded so we can get it uploaded to you guys. But that's difficulty 6, and then of course, as you can see, we get the high score there, and now because we do get over 500,000 points, that gives us access to getting Rogue unlocked for us as well. But yeah, there you guys have it. So we've got that was just vanilla. We didn't do any Scourges. I just wanted to get her unlocked, get her out of the way, test the water. We'll probably run 7 without any Scourges as well, and hopefully maybe a full run this time so you guys can see everything at once. But there you guys have it. Hopefully this has helped you guys out, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.